Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3858. Today's date is um, today's date is February 2nd, 2026. It's been almost like a night at sorry, it's a morning at 9:26 a.m. All right, should we jump into the question? Let's go. By the way, I am kind of like reading this book, The Psychology of the Money. Well, basically, it's this thing na ki I never really read that many books. Like in my entire period of lifetime, I never really read that many books. But in 2026, I decided a resolution that I should supposed to be read the book, and this is the book that I bought. And like, is it really good book? I'm not really sure about that. Okay, why? Because I'm kind of like reading it right now, and one of the like kind of like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing, but what kind of like some value do I add while reading the book? Well, first of all, is that I can read. Okay, yeah, like literally, let me tell you one thing. Look at these pages. Okay, okay, so this is the kind of I'm actually at the like basically level 13, chapter 13. I will gonna read tomorrow. Till now, I'm kind of like let me read. Okay, yeah. So take a typical book. Okay, yeah. So this is a kind of like a book which has a kind of like a completely text on it. Oh yeah. And I am really scared that I should supposed to be read only text. There is no image. There is no at all. Like literally, there is nothing really at all. Just a text. Just legit text. Nothing really at all. And I cannot able to read. Like I thought that now who will supposed to be read such a book kind of like it doesn't really have any kind of like a text or anything at all. It's just like just a text, and there is a kind of like just a long text and things and that. So I always been really scared that why do I supposed to read this book, because it's like when I try to read the book every time I just kind of like it's just like like I cannot able to read. But since I kind of like decided to read a book, I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. Is there kind of like a changes actually happen inside of me? I'm not really sure about that. But is this thing na ki like I don't know, yaar. Maybe it just changes happen, yeah. Like at some certain like basically at some certain age, you kind of like a bit really matured enough to understand regarding about world. Your choices change. Your the perspective of looking at the world change and things and that. Like basically, is this thing that ki couple of year ago, while I was in the school or college, this kind of like a reading this book is kind of like a feel like that a lot for me. But right now, I can read like literally like I am kind of like a read for an hour every single day, not really that too much because I have so many stuff to do, but still for this hour I hold this book, I read this book, and I feel like that yes, I'm kind of like getting some sort of values and things and that. Okay, yeah. Is it adding any kind of like a values? I'm not really sure. I am really proud that I can read book. This is kind of like a too much for me because I am the person who can't able to read the book, literally just can't. Like at my textbooks is kind of like just nothing really at all. But since I'm kind of like a reading such a book, I just realized that na ki I don't know how I supposed to explain this thing. It's something that na ki like like I, okay, there is a couple of changes. I'm not really sure is that changes are kind of like something really good or not. Okay, yeah. Is that ki before before this reading a book and things like that, I don't want to read any kind of like some stuff. Like basically whatever the information that I will gonna consume, I mostly consume information through visual format, like a picture or kind of like a video or things and that. Okay, yeah. But text is a kind of like a thing that I never really consume information from text, like never. Okay, yeah. And even if there is a kind of like information which is actually on the text, my brain is just like that why do I supposed to read and things and that, and even if I read I cannot able to understand. Okay, yeah. But right now am I kind of like reading this book, or I don't know, just having of read it, I'm started reading things. Okay, yeah. Like basically yesterday what exactly happened, yesterday I'm not really sure about that. Yesterday I was kind of like a somebody like what exactly I want to generate a prompt for in ChatGPT So I was kind of like telling that key like I want this image according this style and Pixar style studio with a 16:9 aspect ratios and kind of like a this and that. I kind of like a telling like instead of kind of like a typing, I'm kind of like a directly type, sorry, directly kind of like a say, and ChatGPT convert that audio into the text and it's really good. Okay, yeah. Now after I did it, kind of like a generate a prompt for me, and I wanted to make sure that prompt is really legit or not. Okay, yeah. So it kind of like a generate me this much prompt. Okay, yeah. And there is no subtitle, there is no title, there is nothing like that. Just a prompt. Okay, yeah. And basically the prompt is a kind of like a very complex thing. Like it's a very complex to read and things and that. But I started reading. I started fucking reading the prompt. Oh my god, which is like a that much bigger prompt. Okay, yeah, that much bigger prompt. I started reading the prompt and I was like, what? When did I start reading things? I don't know. It kind of like a feel like nothing to you. It kind of like a feel too much for me because every time I just kind of like a somebody whatever I need, I just don't read. I just like a yeah, this that copy do it. Yeah. It's just like I don't really kind of like read, but I started reading. And maybe it actually happened because of reading habit, probably. I'm not really sure about that. But it's kind of like a only very bigger thing for me. I'm kind of like a reading stuff. Like basically like a someone kind of like a notification. I kind of like a read the notification. Like basically I didn't really skip the notification that key like this notification belongs to the something that I didn't really matter. I just read the notification. Understand that is what exactly that, and I don't know how I supposed to explain this thing. I read stuff. This is actually bigger thing. Like probably you might gonna thinking that key like this fuck will not gonna read ever at all. Well, I read, but like literally not. Like literally not. I'm the person who just not want to read any stuff. But I'm reading this thing. It just like it does add value. I don't know how to explain, but yeah. Whatever. Let's just ask question. Okay. By the way, I don't really have my second phone, like my mother phone. Like my mother is actually carrying that phone to somewhere, so that's why I kind of like simply write the question here. Okay, so that I would kind of like give the answer. Okay, the question is, what matter more in my work right now, technical perfection or emotional impact? That's a really good question. All right, yeah. First of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is YouTube realization question. Okay, YouTube realization means like that I wanted to understand that key, am I consider myself that am I YouTuber or not? And these are kind of like a question are give me realization regarding about being a YouTuber, being a content creator, being a YouTube platform. Like what exactly is this thing? Okay, I want to understand and things and that, and these questions are kind of like a simply kind of like a give me like a realization probably to that key, am I consider myself worthy enough to consider myself that am I YouTuber or not, or things and that. All right. Now regarding about the question says that key what matter more right now, technical perfection or emotional impact? Okay, before I kind of like give any kind of like an answer, I have to give what is actually my genre. Okay, yeah. So I make a video. I actually make a short form video. Okay, yeah, in a social media platform. Usually, that short form video are associated with the visual storytelling. Okay, yeah, graphic designing, visual storytelling. Yeah. I try to kind of like somebody give message to the people from visual point of perspective. Okay, yeah, and this is a kind of like somebody genre. Okay, yeah, visual storytelling. For this, I previously I'm using Photoshop. Okay, yeah, but right now I'm actually using Google Gemini, and which is really good, which is really great. Okay, yeah, I like first of all my execution process is that first of all I took my photo of myself regarding about whatever the concept that I wanted to execute. Like basically yesterday I was kind of like executing a piece of content regarding about the kind of like a somebody that a person who's kind of like a doing a job. Okay, yeah, and he was kind of like something really awkward that might be people are kind of like judging him, so he always have fear and things and that. But then after that he kind of like wake up and started talking to them. So basically the judgment is not in kind of like some judgment is not even exist, like basically it's in his head. Okay, yeah, until you kind of like somebody talk to other people and things and that. So this is a kind of like assembly the visual storyboard I kind of like assembly visualize in a like basically in ChatGPT, in a kind of like assembly Google Gemini, and it generates the image very good, really great, with a high quality visual graphics, which is really good. I love it. Okay, yeah. So this is a kind of like a something like the genre I have. This is the genre that I have, and I'm kind of like simply creating this piece of content. Okay, yeah. Now, do I really require perfection into this platform, into this craft? Well, yeah. Technical perfection. First of all, is that like basically technical perfection means what that na ki, like basically what I thinking that ki sometimes na technical perfection is needed or not. I think that na ki like basically what is actually this thing? What is actually the question is about? The question is about that ki what is exactly the kind of like a wrong thing in your video, and how do you supposed to improve that wrong thing? Means like that ki your video is not really good, so technical imperfection. Audio is not really good, technical imperfection. The lighting is not really good, technical imperfection. Or maybe your editing is not really good, technical imperfection. So these are external thing that is called technical imperfection. Okay, yeah. Internal things means like that emotion. Okay, yeah. Like everything is really good, camera is good, audio is good, but you can't explain things, or maybe you can't add humor into the video. Okay, yeah. Or maybe your emotional state is not really into that scene. So that is called emotional impact. Okay, yeah. Or emotional imperfection, or improve your emotional imperfection and things and that, and you have to improve that thing. So these are kind of like two things are kind of like really essential for any content creation. You have to be really good at technical aspect ratio as well as emotional aspect ratio to execute any kind of like any piece of content. Okay, yeah. Now if I'm saying this thing that for social media platform, then probably it meant for that the person who wanted to execute this thing, he doesn't really have any information regarding about technical, as well as he doesn't really have any information regarding about emotional and things and that. Okay, yeah. The person who actually started this YouTube career or any kind of like a social media platform is because of that he has some sort of thing that he wanted to share to the people, and that's it. Okay, yeah. And he don't know how do he supposed to do this thing. Okay, yeah. So it is really essential that how you should supposed to be improved, right? You should supposed to improve technical imperfection, you should supposed to improve your emotional imperfection and things and that, right? But I will not suggest that. Okay, yeah. If you are doing this thing in a bigger platform like a film or things and that, so in that particular platform you have to make sure that you are perfectly ready in technical aspect ratio or emotional aspect ratio. But for the social media platform, I kind of like suggest you to kind of like go as raw as you can. Okay, don't think about technical aspect ratio, or don't think about technical thing, don't really think about emotional thing. Just shoot and edit, or shoot or upload maybe. Okay, yeah. Like basically what I realized that na ki social media platform is not meant for kind of like somebody exactly right. Okay, yeah. Is meant to be kind of like somebody is just saying that ki you have to understand yourself. Okay, yeah. When you make mistake, you learn from mistake na. If you didn't really make mistake, how do you supposed to be learn, right? Means like that if you think that ki once I will get kind of like somebody really expert in technical background, or once I will really expert in emotional impact and things like that, then I will gonna start. It will gonna don't do it, because it will gonna take late, very late. Don't do it. Whatever you have right now, you think that you have something that you wanted to share. Also, you are accept that ki whatever the consequences will gonna happen, I will accept that consequences and I will kind of like move forward. Just do it. Just do it. Like basically when you set your mindset that ki yeah, I wanted to be a kind of like that particular person, I wanted to be a kind of like a YouTuber or any kind of like a social media platform, then just do it. Don't think about any kind of like some of this stuff and do it. Throughout the time you will improve. Throughout the time you will improve your technical aspect ratio. Like basically like a technical means like that audio or video or editing process or anything you will gonna improve throughout the time, as well as you will improve your emotional imperfection. Okay, yeah, like you are not really good at executing stuff, or maybe you are not talking really well, so it will gonna improve throughout the time too. Consistency is essential. Just keep doing every single day. Keep putting your effort every single day. Okay, yeah, when you try to do this thing, you will gonna improve a lot in every possible way. Okay, improve your technical imperfection, improve your emotional imperfection, you both will gonna improve. The question is that ki what kind of like a really essential for you, a kind of like a some technical uh, impact or emotional impact, or what kind of like a some stuff. Like if this question actually asked to me, how do I supposed to give the answer, what do I really require, kind of like a technical imperfection or emotional imperfection? I think I need both. um, I'm like what kind of like some technical problem that you kind of like occurred right now. Technical problem is that ki first of all is that ki I can take photos from my mobile phone, which is good. And usually I, like instead of editing on Photoshop, I kind of like somebody kind of like directly put the prompt into the chat GPT and into the Gemini, and Gemini kind of like create the image for me. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing na ki uh, like there is kind of like a technical imperfection. Well, might be, yeah, like there is a in the editing process there is a kind of like a couple of things I have to be stitched, like a one thing after that, what will gonna come after, and things and that. Okay, yeah. I wanted to people hook for the people should supposed to be hooked while they watch my video. Like basically my video will gonna start when I take photo of myself with kind of like a random poses that I'm doing. Okay, yeah. And that kind of like a bring the curiosity to the people that what he was kind of like a doing. Okay, yeah. So I create the hook. Okay, yeah. And then people are kind of like a go through the entire process of how do I supposed to create this image, from prompting to kind of like image generation to this and that. Okay, yeah. uh, the problem that I'm facing right now is that ki before I was kind of like a creating content on Photoshop, and when I create the content on Photoshop, there are so much way that uh, that that video or that reel or that kind of like a somebody the video kind of like a feel like that my creativity. Okay, like my creativity, like basically I am executing that creativity. I have this mindset, I kind of like take a photo of myself, editing that photo in Photoshop, and try to kind of like add some sort of stitches that how do I supposed to edit and things, the background and everything. Okay, yeah. So it felt like that ki the entire execution is from me, entire creativity is actually from me, even if the design is not really that look good, but it kind of like a feel like that a connect, it kind of like a feel like that ki I'm putting my effort. But since I'm started using AI, it kind of like a feel like that ki my creativity is not mine. I'm just kind of like simply executing the ideas, and AI is execute my ideas. Oh yeah. So does it wrong? No, it's not wrong, but it felt like that na ki like basically is this thing before when I kind of like create the image, the whole creativity credit goes to me. Okay, yeah, because I create the image, I took the photo of myself, I edit that photo into the Photoshop and things and that. So entire credit of creativity goes to me. But today, or maybe like right now I'm kind of like using AI, so it feels like that the creativity is mine but execution is actually by AI. So it doesn't feel like that ki the creativity is actually mine. It feels like that ki I am putting almost like a 20% effort, 80% of the effort is actually put by AI. So my creativity is also kind of like a lack of that. Like my creativity feels like that ki like basically 40% and entire execution plan for the to the Gemini and things like that. So it is that thing. Okay, yeah. So I am really bit confused that should I supposed to be execute my ideas in a Photoshop or should I supposed to execute my ideas in AI, because AI create a really good images and things and that and that. But why do you think that? Why do you think that he like if AI would kind of like create your execution process, uh, then why are you kind of like a feel off? No, I'm not really feel really off. I'm feel like that na ki like like basically is this thing na ki okay, yeah, what exactly is this thing? AI just launched. Okay, AI just kind of like something exist for maybe kind of like a couple of years. Okay, before that I was just okay, my execution, my creativity is actually mine and things and that and that. All right. So what I kind of like simply realize is that key, basically is this thing, whatever the creativity that human should supposed to do, it belongs to the human. But since the AI came, it just kind of like somebody just like people are not really connecting with that thing. People kind of like think that oh, it's a AI, then it should supposed to be always good and things and that and that. So yeah. So this is what it is. Na? It's what kind of like a thing is that na ki I don't know how to supposed to explain this thing. Does AI will kind of like take my job? No, it's not. Definitely, I'm actually learning AI. I'm kind of like creating my design through AI, which is really good. And AI is not going anywhere. Like AI is the future. Okay, yeah. And if even if I'm not kind of like accepting it, then others they will, and I will gonna kind of like disqualify things and that and that. So it is really essential to adopt new technology, and I'm adopting it. I am kind of like trying to adopt this new technology and things and that and that. But the perception of looking at the thing is take time. Okay, like right now I'm thinking that the creativity is not mine. I think that just the creativity credit goes to kind of like a 20 or 40% to me, then 60% went to the AI, because AI is actually executing everything. But throughout the time it will gonna change. Okay, yeah, because AI is everywhere. Everyone can use AI, but no one can utilize the AI that you could do. Okay, yeah. So it is really essential that even if you are using AI, 100% of the people are not using AI. Yeah. So don't think about that. Just it's a kind of like a phase of time. Okay, yeah. It's a kind of like a thing that it will gonna kind of like something it will gonna pass through. Okay, yeah. Just it's like basically don't think about that key like a basically is this thing you just have to switch back to the Photoshop and kind of like do my stuff again. No, it's not. Okay, in the end people are judged by the final product. People don't really care about where that product came from, AI or humans. Okay, so it is better that the human AI is kind of like a creating product in much more better way than probably I should supposed to be focus on how do I supposed to execute my piece of content through AI, because it kind of like improve me more. It kind of like a better understanding regarding about AI much more, and I will kind of like executing my piece of content through AI much more better with high quality in more in number. So it kind of like add so much value in the future too. So yeah, I shouldn't supposed to be kind of like assembly that key neglect or things like that. All right. But what is actually really essential for you? A technical impact or emotional impact? What is technical perfection or emotional impact? What is exactly important for you right now? Uh, uh, Technical, yeah, as I mentioned, technical. These are kind of like a couple of things. Okay, that I want. Regarding about prompting, I'm really good at prompting. It's not really that I'm not really good at prompting, but still little bit of technical imperfection are still exist. I'm trying to fixing that. Emotional impact, yes. My design are kind of like emotionally connected to the human, which is really good. But still I wanted to be create such a design that impact a lot to the emotional level. So I'm creating that. I'm kind of like a thinking very widely also. It's not really that I'm kind of like a creating this design by myself or maybe getting this idea. No, I'm just exploring a lot of stuff. Like memes are kind of like a really good inspiration. Like I kind of like a access memes a lot. Okay, I have kind of like a channel on WhatsApp, and they kind of like a posted almost like hundreds of memes per day. I kind of like some scroll through, and those memes are really good, and I really inspired from these memes. It kind of like get me idea about how do I supposed to visualize, and I kind of like put that into the prompt and it will kind of like generate that particular image, which is really good. Okay, yeah, but I want to be kind of like a more emotionally things and that. But still, what I realized that ki my content is not kind of like a really required that much kind of like a emotional thing. Yeah, it is emotionally connected, but still is this thing when I try to talk to like this video, like basically if you are kind of like seeing this video on YouTube platform, then you are kind of like a connecting with me much more deeply than my actual content. Why is that? Because when you are kind of like spending more time to a piece of people, then it kind of like represent that you value more to that particular person. Probably, I'm not really sure about that. Okay, yeah, like basically, like a like I don't know. Okay, yeah. If you are watching this right now, okay, yeah, you and me are connecting so much. Okay, yeah, with the word that I'm saying and things and that. That's why you are kind of like still watching till 25 minutes. Okay, yeah, because you are kind of like listening me till now, right? So we are connected right now, na? Okay, yeah. It is really essential in a social media platform that key connection, how much time that you willing to spend to watch people content or that particular piece of content. Okay, yeah. I make a video, a short form video, which lastly, let's just say 1 minute video. In the 1 minute video, I will not establish that much connection to the viewer. Even if that video went viral or that video went consumed like a millions, it will not gonna connect to the people that much. Okay, yeah, because the time that I spend is like a less than minute. Okay, yeah, but in here when we are talking, it connects a lot because we spend 26 minutes each other. Okay, you are listening to me and things and that we build some sort of in between us. Okay, yeah, so this is what it is. Okay, it is kind of like that. I am trying to understand this psychology about how does people think regarding about the what does people consume. I don't know, I'm just thinking and I'm not really sure is it right or wrong or things and that. But this is what I need. Okay, yeah. What I need right now, yes, I need a kind of like a technical perfection. Yes, I need emotional impact too. Yes, and it never gonna end. It never like basically it never gonna kind of like a things that key. I am really perfect at my technical perfection, or I'm really good at emotional thing. It's not. Okay, yeah. If you say this thing that key you never really need that perfection or things, then you just stop yourself. As a kind of like as a human, I realize that you never become perfect. Okay, yeah, you always meant to be chasing the perfect, and perfect is a never try to achieve. It's non-exist. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is what I thought. Whatever. Regarding about this book, okay, yeah, read this book, really good book. I also bought the another book, Atomic Habit. I will gonna start reading after I complete this book. And by the way, if you wanted to read the book, try not to read book too much. Half an hour, like start from half an hour. Like basically, if you wanted to take the book, read the book for half an hour. Like basically, after you do breakfast, like a morning. Okay, yeah, morning. Like after you had a breakfast, set the timer for half an hour. Okay, set the alarm for half an hour and started reading just half an hour. Okay, or if you are kind of like a new person who haven't really read, like a read only one chapter in a 1 day. That's it. One chapter 1 day. It will take like a basically 10-15 minutes. That's it. That's it, and just leave the book. But do it every single day. Okay, yeah. At the beginning, it kind of like a feel awkward. Okay, yeah. That why are you kind of like reading the book and things and that. But since you are being continue, you add so much value inside of you. I don't know. It's kind of like the advice that a person who's kind of like a given that I have only read a book. Whatever, but it somehow, I don't know, change me probably. Like this is my first book that I'm kind of like reading right now. So yeah, it does add value. I'm not really sure what kind of like a value it add. I'm gonna say so many stuff, but it's a kind of like a tiny thing that you have to analyze yourself. This is it. Thank you.